Ousted One Nation Senator Rod Culleton has lodged a last-minute appeal in the federal court against the bankruptcy ruling which has crippled his political career. The government's told the Governor of Western Australia there's a Senate vacancy in the state and is moving to remove Rod Culleton from the upper house because he was declared bankrupt last month. Rod Culleton insists the coalition has no right to get rid of him and is vowing to fight on. Here's political reporter Stephen Jedgetts.
Senator Culleton insists that he can stay because he argues the federal government has essentially jumped the gun. So the federal court declared him bankrupt on the 23rd of December last year as part of a dispute. And the government says at that moment he was essentially not a senator anymore because the law specifically says you can't be a senator if you're also an undischarged bankrupt. On that same day, the court also issued a stay order of 21 days that will expire this Friday, so tomorrow. And Senator Culleton says that stay order actually gives him some protection. The government says it's purely an administrative measure, but the senator says that he's got legal advice to the contrary, namely that the federal government has jumped the gun and ended his political career before it should or could. So Senator Culleton will, over the next couple of hours, go to the federal court again and launch an appeal against the ruling of his bankruptcy and also ask for a stay, that stay to be extended to give him more time to prove that he is in fact solvent. The federal government, though, is unmoved and has already started to remove him. If you go onto the Australian Parliament House website, you'll see it now refers to him as a former senator, Rod Culleton. It believes that anything else in the federal court is now essentially irrelevant because he's an undischarged bankrupt. Therefore, it says he cannot stay in the Senate.
So then, Stephen, who's likely to replace Rod Culleton if his appeal bid fails?
It's hard to say at this stage because there are two separate court actions going on. There's this federal court bankruptcy case. On top of that, there's a separate one in the High Court, which has been brought by the federal government, and that focuses on whether he was ever eligible to stand in the first place. Now, if the if the High Court does decide that he was ineligible to stand in the first place, then it's likely that that it will go to the number 2 on the One Nation ticket in Western Australia, and that person happens to be his brother-in-law. But if the High Court decides that he was eligible to stand, or for some reason decides that the bankruptcy ruling should for some reason take precedence, then Senator Pauline Hanson, the leader of One Nation, gets to decide who replaces him. So she's already taken to social media to say that she's managed to find a great replacement for him, though she hasn't revealed who that would be. And she says that she's moving on from the entire saga. Let's have a listen to what Senator Hanson had to say earlier today on commercial TV.
This has been a debacle, what's happened, and I'm not happy about that at all, and I didn't want it to happen for the people of Western Australia. But it's what it is, and now Rod has been declared an undisclosed bankrupt, and I've got to move on from there, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
So Senator Hanson hopes that she will get the last word on exactly who will replace Rod Culleton. However, of course, the final say on exactly what happens rests with the highest court in the land. That is, of course, the High Court.
Stephen Jedgetts, political reporter from Canberra. Thank you.